Hey folks, Ryan here from the Bridge City Boardgamers, and I've got another What's in the Box for you tonight. And I've got a What's in the Box, the latest Marvel Champions big box expansion, the Mad Titan Shadow. We got Thanos himself in the Black Order coming into the Marvel Champions universe. Oh boy, am I very, very excited for this expansion. Let's take a look just quickly at the back here. And yep, there we go, the Mad Titan Shadow coming to us with two brand new heroes coming into the Marvel Champions game. We got Adam Warlock, which is what I'm really, really excited for because I'm liking those mystic styles. Doctor Strange, of course, is one of my favorite characters in the game here. Adam Warlock, I'm going to assume is going to be very, very similar to that. And we've also got Spectrum coming in here too. And yes, we're going to be taking on Thanos himself and his Black Order, Children of Thanos, and some other surprises they're going to be in your 5 new scenarios that we can be played as a campaign style. 268 cards. How about let's just dive right into it and see what all got going on inside that. What does Fantasy Flight Games have in store for us here tonight? So let's take a look here, get this wrapping off here. Alright, toss that aside and let's get inside the box. Alrighty. So there we go. There's the little booklet and the little cardboard piece that you can kind of just toss aside here. And then we got our decks of cards. We got our Adam Warlock pre-built deck, and we've got our Spectrum pre-built deck that we'll take a look at. We've got, looks like here, yep, we just got some more, we just got our encounter sets. So let's take a look at them. We'll put those aside here. There's your Fantasy Flight box with the little divider inside here that you may or may not keep, or you just have an alternate storage solution like I do for this game. So let's take a look here. Mad Titan Shadow expansion. I'm not going to flip through too much through it. I don't want too many spoilers for ourselves, but yeah, it's going to lay it out here. We got this, it lays out the starter decks here for Spectrum and Adam Warlock on the sides here. There might be a couple new rules, like it says additional forms. Cards with the form keyword grant you your identity unique form, such as Spectrum's energy form. And this came out too a little bit in the Vision Hero expansion pack reveal, where he's going to have like many different, he's got a couple different forms that he can be in, and whether or not he's in alter ego hero form, whether or not he's in those other type, gives you some abilities. Sounds like Spectrum's going to be able to do the same thing about us. Amplify icon, we've seen this one too in the Galaxy's Most Wanted set here. And of course there's the campaign mode, an expert campaign that you can play as part of. And then there's the very first, there's the starting story. Thanos himself sitting on top of his throne here. It looks like Ebony Maw is talking to him, and I know Ebony Maw is, I believe, your first encounter in this campaign. So I'm just going to leave it there. I'm not going to go too much more into that. And yeah, and there's the backside campaign log from that book. Okay, how about we get into it? Let's take a look at the first hero pack here. Let's take a look at Adam Warlock, because that's the one that I'm very excited to. Let's get that one right off. Let's get that one done right off the bat here. And of course, this is my favorite part, is trying to actually get into these mini decks of cards. Is it too much for them to ask just to have that, you know, those little strips that you can peel off and they go right around, you can just take off? Is it too much to ask whenever you have a deck of cards to have that little strip on the plastic edge so that you can actually get the plastic off? I don't know. I don't think that's too much to ask at this stage. Okay, so let's take a look here. We got Adam Warlock. He's a 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. Battle Mage. Action. Discard 1 card from hand. Limit once per phase. If that card is aggression, justice, protection, or leadership, get some sort of boost. Which is really quite unique, because you're going to have to really take a look at his alter ego form to understand, wait a minute, so do I have to build around each of these aspects? Well, not really, because Adam Warlock alter ego with 3 recovery, mystic, avatar of life. During deck building, your deck must include an equal number of cards from all 4 aspects. You cannot include more than 1 copy of any non-Adam Warlock card. Very interesting character. Right off the bat, it's very unique. We haven't seen anything like this where you're involving more than 2. Spider-Woman, I know you could involve 2 aspects into her deck building. This one's requiring all 4, and you're not allowed to have any duplicate copies of a card that is not an Adam Warlock card. So you're only allowing 1 copy of each of these different types of cards. Really interesting, very unique. I want to see how this plays out because, man, I'm interested to see what they included in the base deck here, the pre-built deck, and I don't know what the possibilities are for deck building this guy. I'm sure there's already people out there that have come up with some neat builds around him. I'm interested because that might mean some of those cards from past sets like Rise of Red Skull or even the earlier hero packs, maybe some of those cards now can synergize together if you're only going to have 1 copy of them. And maybe they can synergize amongst different aspects. I don't know. Sounds really, really interesting. Action, you can discard a card from your hand. You can remove a status card from out of Warlock. That's actually pretty neat. So let's take a look at his signature cards. We got Pip the Troll. He's a 2-cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack. And he comes in with Toughness, which is really awesome. While Pip the Troll is in your hand, he gains Interrupt. When a player is attacked, spend a energy and mental resource. Put Pip the Troll into play under that player's control. So it's kind of interesting. He can be played from hand there as soon as he's been attacked. We got Soul World. It's a 1-cost support. It's a location. Response, after your deck runs out of cards, place 1 soul counter here. Alter ego action, exhaust Soul World and remove 1 soul counter from it. Heal all damage from your identity. So you're kind of wanting to go through Adam Warlock's deck here because, yeah, a 1-time can heal all of your damage from your identity. That is huge. Really, really kind of cool. Really quite thematic, different type of card here. So yeah, so you got the Soul World. And then we got the Karmic Staff. Okay, 2-cost upgrade, resource, exhaust Karmic Staff, generate a wild resource. So this is kind of like you're generating your wild resource type of card here. And there's 1 copy of that. It's a unique. We got Warlock's Cape, 2-cost upgrade, hero response. After you resolve Adam Warlock's Battle Mage ability, exhaust Warlock's Cape, and you can ready Adam Warlock. Okay, so much like in Doctor Strange there too, you can readying him. Cosmic Ward, it's a 1-cost upgrade spell. Forced interrupt when you reveal a treachery card, cancel its when revealed effects and discard it. Then discard Cosmic Ward. So that's kind of really, really kind of cool. Just one of those cards that are in play. Just, get rid of those nasty treachery cards. It looks like we got 2 copies of that card. Okay, we got Mystic Senses, a 2-cost upgrade. Hero response. After you resolve Adam Warlock's Battle Mage ability, draw 1 card. Okay, we got a couple copies of that. We got Karmic Blast, a 2-cost event. Hero action. Deal 4 damage to an enemy and discard up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Deal 1 additional damage to that enemy for each different aspect discarded this way. So it's already a base 4 damage for 2 cost. And up to an additional 4 more damage as long as if you can discard 1 of each of those aspects. So really, really cool. So really, you're like, for 2 costs, you're already dealing probably at least 5 damage. Because I'm granted that when you draw 4 cards, they're probably going to hit at least 1 more aspect, probably 2 if there's all these different types of aspects in the card. So maybe even a 6. So a 5 or a 6 damage for 2 cost. I'm thinking that's a pretty good investment here. So we got 1, 2, we got 3 copies of that in this deck. Cosmic Awareness. It's a 2-cost event. Hero action. Remove 3 threat from a scheme and discard up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Remove 1 additional threat from the scheme for each different aspect discarded this way. So it's much like the Karmic Blast, but this time it's removing threat. And again, for 2 cost, removing probably at least 4. You got your base 3, and plus you're probably going to hit at least 1 more, so 4 threat from a scheme. Probably 4 or 5. If you hit 2 different aspects, that's pretty, like, again, that's a pretty good investment here. There's 2 copies of that one. Quantum Magic, it's a 1-cost event. Spell action, choose a card in your discard pile and add that card to your hand. So, okay, you took away one of those cards. Maybe it's one of those Karmic Blasts. Add it back to your hand. Play it again. Sounds really cool. 1, 2 of those. So those look like the base. Those look like the base Adam Warlock cards. Okay, so then it looks like they pre-built him with a. I was gonna say with aggression, but there it looks like he does have all of the different aspects in here. So let's take a look at each of these, because these also could be used in your separate other builds later on here. So we've got Marvel Boy, 2-cost ally, 0 thwart, 2 attack. When Marvel Boy attacks, spend a physical resource. This attack gains piercing and ranged. So he's not coming in to do any thwarting. He's just going to come in and do a few quick attacks there. The In-Betweener, 2-cost event. He's a cosmic entity. Action, shuffle this card into the encounter deck without looking. When revealed, deal 2 damage to the villain and remove this card from the game. This effect cannot be canceled. So he goes into the encounter deck. Well, that's kind of interesting. I was just going to look at the back of the card, but it is a blue-backed card into the encounter deck. That's kind of interesting. Magic Attack, 1-cost event. Play only if your identity has the Mystic trait, which Adam Warlock does. Hero action, choose an enemy and discard up to 5 cards from the top of your deck. Deal 1 damage to the enemy for each card discarded this way. So that's a huge, I think. So you can. Oh, so this is one of those ones that allow you to cycle through your deck because you want to maybe get to that soul counter. If you got your soul counter out, the soul world, I mean, you got it out, and you try to get to that, get a counter on there so you can heal all your damage. So you can choose up to. So for a 1-cost, you can deal up to 5 damage. Maybe it's the 5 damage that's left to defeat the villain. That's actually really quite cool. I like this card a lot. And yeah, so there's one copy. Oh, there we go. It says max 1 per deck. So there's 1 copy of that. And then we got Uppercut, just dealing straight up 5 damage to an enemy. Then we got Combat Training. Okay, hero gets +1 attack. Audacity. Max 1 per deck. It's a resource card. Hero response. After you spend this card, deal 1 damage to the villain. I like these types of cards. Okay, now we got our Justice cards. We got Quasar. It's a 3-cost ally. 1 thwart, 2 attack. 3 health. After Quasar enters play, remove 1 threat from each scheme in play. So you got your multiple schemes. Put them down. Remove 1 threat from each. Seems really good. Living Tribunal, 2-cost event, cosmic entity. Shuffle this card into the encounter deck without looking. Remove 2 threat from the main scheme and remove this card from the game. So another one of those cards is going into the encounter deck and doing something good for you rather than doing something bad against you. I do like these. I'm trying to like these. Then we got a For Justice, the 2-cost event, removing 3 threat from a scheme. 4 if you've paid to this card using a mental resource. Zone of Silence, 1-cost event. Play only if you have the Mystic trait, 1 per deck. Choose a scheme and discard up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Remove 1 threat from the scheme for each card discarded this way. So there we go. So there's like the one that's dealing the damage. Maybe you just need to get rid of a bunch of threat. Maybe you need to get one of those nasty side schemes down there, like pumping up the main scheme, maybe the boost icons that you don't want, or the stuff like that. So get rid of that. Heroic Intuition, there's a go, 2-cost upgrade. Your hero gets +1 thwart. Determination, max 1 per deck. After you spend this resource, spend this card, remove 1 threat from the main scheme. Do like that. Okay, now we got some leadership. I'm really interested in leadership. If you know me, I like my Doctor Strange leadership deck. Let's see if we can include any of these new cards. Major Victory, 2-cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 health. When Major Victory is defeated, choose a friendly Guardian character and ready that character. Okay. Eternity, 2-cost event. Shuffle this card into the counter deck without looking. When revealed, draw 1 card and remove this card from the game, so you get to draw an extra card. Summoning Spell. If you have the Mystic trait, discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an ally. Put that ally into play under your control. Thank you. This is going to go straight into my Doctor Strange deck. My Doctor Strange, like, ally swarm. This is a very good card for that deck. It's a very good card overall. Make the call, pay the printed cost of an ally in any pirate player's discard pile. Put that ally into play. Inspired, attached ally gets +1 thwart, +1 attack. Innovation, after you spend this card, heal 1 damage from an ally you control. Okay, and then our protection cards. Okay, we got Charlie 27. He's a 4-cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack. He's got Retaliate 1, and he's also got Toughness and 4 health. So big cost, but he's going to stick around for a bit and do some damage back to people. I think that's warranted. The Gardener. Okay, this is one of those shuffle the cards into the encounter deck. When revealed, heal 2 damage from your identity and remove this card from the game. Okay, so now we got heal, we got draw, we got remove threat, and we've got deal damage, which is really, really kind of cool. Okay, shield spell. You have Mystic, Hero Interrupt. When you would take any amount of damage from an attack, discard that many cards from the top of your deck. Prevent all damage from this attack. So you just want to stay alive. It's a 0-cost event. You just want to stay alive. That's really, really kind of nice. Counterpunch. Response after your hero defends against an enemy attack. Deal damage to that enemy equal to your hero's attack value. It's a 0-cost event. Okay, Armored Vest. Your hero gets +1 defense. And Preservation. Oh my goodness gracious. After you spend this card, heal 1 damage from your hero. And then we've got our basics. We've got the Martinix. 3-cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack, 4 health. Reduce the cost to play Martinix by 1 if your identity has also the Guardian trait. So he could become a 2-cost ally if your identity has the Guardian. And if we take a look here, Adam Warlock does have the Guardian and Mystic traits on it. So okay, and that's the only basic in this deck. And then we've got his obligation, which is Regeneration Cycle. Exhaust your alter ego and remove this obligation from the game, or discard the top 5 cards of your deck. Place 1 threat on the main scheme for each different aspect discarded this way. Nasty, nasty stuff. Then we got the Magus. 2 scheme, 2 attack, quick strike, and toughness, 5 health. Ooh, he's a nasty, nasty man. Forced response after the Magus activates against you, discard the top 5 cards of your deck. So you're going to be going through the deck. Okay, Universal Church of Truth, side scheme, forced response after a player resets their deck, exhaust that player's identity and stun it. And it's got a acceleration icon on here. And then we got Zealot of Truth. Zealot threat cannot be removed from the Universal Church of Truth side scheme if this guy is in play. So nasty stuff. There's 2 of those guys in that. And then we got the Treachery card, Cosmic Inquisition, Insight 2. When revealed, if the Universal Church of Truth side scheme is in play, discard the top 10 cards of your deck. Otherwise, search the encounter deck discard pile and set aside area for Universal Church of Truth and reveal it. Shuffle the encounter deck. Oh, nasty, nasty stuff. So you will be going through Adam Warlock's deck if these guys all come out. So there we go. There's the Adam Warlock deck. It's very cool and interesting type of things that are going on. I can already see lots of different potential for Adam Warlock. Let's put him off to the side here. Whoops, bumped the desk there. Okay, let's take a look at Spectrum. Let's see what's going on inside her deck. And here's my universal plea to get those little tabs on the packages of cards. It just makes lives in these videos so much easier. Okay, so let's take a look at Spectrum here. So she's a 1 thwart, 1 attack, 1 defense hero. Aerial Avenger. Energy Transformation. Forced response. After you change to this form, choose a face down energy form upgrade. Flip that card face up to change to that energy form. That's probably going to make a lot of sense once we start going through some of these cards here. So we got Monica Rambeau here as the alter ego. Set up, put all 3 energy form upgrades into play face down. Power down, forced response. After you change to this form, turn all of your energy form upgrades face down. Okay, so let's take a look here. Okay, so here's one of her energy forms. There's the Gamma form. Spectrum gets +2 attack. Hero response. After you change to this energy form, deal 1 damage to an enemy. Then there's the Photon form. Okay, Spectrum gets +2 thwart. After you change to this energy form, remove 1 threat from a scheme. And then there's the Pulsar form. Spectrum gets +2 defense. After you change to this energy form, heal 1 damage from Spectrum. So let's take a pause here. Let's take a look at those. So those 3 come into play. They got the permanent stats, so they start the game in your possession in play. And we take a look back at this. Energy Transformation. After you change to this form, choose a face down energy form upgrade. Flip that card face up to change to that energy form. So you're Monica Rambeau. You're going to flip her. You're going to activate her Spectrum form. And you're going to choose which one of these perks do you want to have while you are in Spectrum form. Do you want to have extra attack? Do you want to have extra thwart? Or do you want to have extra defense? And they all come with their own little thing. So it's just like, and they all have their own little thing of after you've changed to the form to dealing a damage, removing a threat, and healing 1 damage. So kind of like you kind of pace yourself. What are you probably planning on wanting to do in a turn? That's really, really neat. Something we haven't really seen a lot of in this game. So that's Spectrum and her energy forms. So let's take a look at Spectrum's signature cards here. We've got Blue Marvel, 3-cost ally, 2 thwart, 2 attack. Hero response. After Blue Marvel enters play, you can change energy forms. Oh, so you can flip around a little bit. That's really, really quite neat. Energy Duplication, 2-cost upgrade. Exhaust energy duplication. Generate the printed resource on your face-up energy form upgrade. Oh, okay. So each of them, if I kind of look at each of them, have their own energy resource, and so this guy would also, you'd be able to exhaust it, and you'd be able to generate whichever resource is up there. And there's 2 copies of that card. Gamma Blast, hero 3-cost event, hero action. Change to Gamma energy form and deal 7 damage to an enemy. If you're already in Gamma Energy form, this attack gains Overkill. You got a nasty minion in play with you, and you're already ready to deal with him. You got a Gamma Blast. Deal the excess damage to the villain after you defeat that enemy. That's really quite cool. There's 1, 2, 3 of those. Really, really nice. And of course, that's big damage. 7 damage. That's really big damage for 3. Photon Speed, 2-cost event. Change to Photon Energy form and remove 4 threat from a scheme if you are already in Photon Energy form. Ignore the Crisis icon for this thwart. So if you have any Crisis icons, which means you can't take threat off of the main scheme, you could. And I'm going to assume there's 3 of these. Yep. And then Pulsar Shield. When Spectrum defends, change to Pulsar Energy form and ready Spectrum. If you're already in Pulsar Energy form, she gains Retaliate 1 until the end of the phase. So we got some cards here, and it's a 1-cost event, and we got 3 of those. Speed of Light is a 0-cost event. Hero action, change energy forms, and then draw 1 card. There we go. So we got that flipping in and out of your forms, and we've got 3 of those. And she's built with leadership, which is really, really quite good because you know me, I like leadership. Captain America, Steve Rogers ally. We don't have one of these in the game. 6. Count it. 6-cost ally, 2 thwart, 2 attack, 4 health. Comes in with toughness. Oh, but reduce the cost to play Captain America by 1 for each Avenger character you control. So if you've already got a couple Avenger characters, he's only a 4-cost ally. And if you've got 3 allies already out and you have Avengers Tower, allow you to increase the amount of allies you have, then he's only a 3-cost ally. Power Man, 3-cost ally, 1 thwart, no attack. And the no attack has 2 consequential damage on it. Power Man enters play with 2 Chai counters on him. Action, discard any number of Chai counters from Power Man. He gets +2 attack for each Chai counter discarded this way until the end of the phase. So there you go. If you want to attack and you want to discard both of them at the same time, okay, 4 attack, 4 damage. White Tiger, 3-cost ally, 2 thwart, 2 attack. After you play White Tiger from your hand, draw X cards to a maximum of 3, where X is equal to the villain's stage number. If the villain has no stage number, draw 1 card. Kalu. 2-cost ally, 1 thwart, 1 attack. Response, after Kalu enters play, search the top 5 cards of your deck for an event. Add that event to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Really kind of cool. Very nice utility type card. Okay, support. 3-cost support, Mighty Avengers. Play under any player's control. Max 1 team card per player. If each of your characters has the Avenger trait, each ally you control gets +1 thwart and +1 attack. Nice. Very nice. Just buffs up all of your allies. And if you already got a few of them out there, beautiful. 3 copies of it. 3-cost event, Mass Attack. Exhaust 3 allies you control that share a trait with your hero. Deal X damage to an enemy where X is the total attack of those allies and your hero. So 3-cost event, you can deal a whole schwackload of damage and you don't even have to exhaust your allies. And then your allies can go in and swing. Wow. Very nice. Very neat. I'm assuming we've got 3 of those. Yep. Okay, and then we got the 0-cost event, Moxie, hero response. After you change form, your hero gets +1 thwart, 1 attack, and 1 defense until the end of the round. And you got 3 of those. Just to buff up Spectrum's base stats, because she only starts off at a 1/1/1. Band together, resource card. This card generates a wild resource for each ally you control to a maximum of 3, which is a really, really good card to have. 3 of those. Blade. 1 cost ally. 1 cost. 1 thwart to attack, 3 health. Forced response. After Blade thwarts or attacks, choose to either spend a physical resource from your hand or discard Blade. So he does have a cost to him that after you do something with him, you also have to spend a physical resource as well. So hopefully maybe you've got Gamma in play and you're able to have that Spectrum card that generates that resource. Oh, and then of course we have Avengers Tower. Each of your allies has the Avengers trait. Increase your ally limit by 1. This is what I was talking about for Steve Rogers. Exhaust Avengers Tower. Reduce the cost of the next Avenger ally played by this phase by 1. Avengers Mansion. Exhaust Avengers Mansion. Choose a player. That player draws 1 card. Ready to Rumble. 1 cost upgrade. Okay, hero response after you change form. Discard this card. Ready your hero. Got 3 copies of that. And of course we got our energy, our genius, and our strength. And here we go. Now we've got our obligation here, loss of control. Okay, alter ego action, exhaust Monica Rambo, remove loss of control from the game. You cannot change energy forms. Bam. Nasty stuff. Okay, minion radioactive man. Just reminds me, just brings back memories of The Simpsons and Radioactive Man and Fall Out Boy. Oh, great episode. Go back and look. Oh, man. Help me, Radioactive Man. 1 scheme, 1 attack, 6 health. Force response after Radioactive Man activates against you. Deal 1 damage to each character you control. Nasty stuff. Reactor meltdown. Defeated, deal 1 damage to each friendly character in play. It's got the crisis icon on it, which means you can't remove threat from the main scheme. Sap power attached to your identity. After your turn ends, you have to take a damage. Spend 2 energy resources to discard this card. So bad stuff. And there's another one. And then radioactive blast. It's a treachery card. Alter ego form, place 2 threat on the main scheme, or if you're in hero form, take 2 damage. So pretty basic stuff there. Really kind of looking cool what this, what Spectrum does. I'm actually kind of excited to try her out. Oh heck, I'll probably just end up playing 2-handed anyways, just trying out both the characters. So yeah, here we go. Spectrum and Adam Warlock look like 2 really interesting characters. I would like to see how they... Can't wait to dive in to see how they actually play out in this campaign. Now here I can see already I'm already over a half an hour here. I'm not going to go too much into the detail on the scenario cards, or sorry, the encounters, just because I don't want to really spoil anything for anybody who does want to go through who is going to end up going through the campaign quite quickly here. But maybe we'll just take a look. We'll just kind of go ahead and we'll just kind of take a look at each of the villains and see what they've got going on here, because we already mentioned that the very first one is Ebony Maw here, with his stage 1 is 2 scheme, 1 attack. Stage 2 is 2 scheme, 2 attack, and stage 3 is 3 scheme, 2 attack. He's Black Order and he's Mystic, and his Forced Interrupt is when Ebony Maw activates against you, remove an invocation counter from each spell card in your play area. When Ebony Maw activates against you, remove an invocation counter from each spell card in your play area. When revealed, each player discards cards from the top of their encounter deck until they discard a spell card and puts that card in play in their play area. So interesting things here. So he's got some things probably coming out. His spells are coming out to come and get you. Attack on Nowhere. Main scheme. Each player discards cards from the top of the encounter deck until a spell environment is discarded and puts into play in their play area. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. And of course, there's other things here. It looks like we already see here the Power Stone, so it's something to do with the Power Stone is this encounter. And here we go. Yeah, here's those environments. There's Fireball. Enters play with 4 invocation counters on it. After last invocation counter is removed from Fireball, discard it and deal 4 damage to your identity. There's a couple of those. Manipulation. Enters play with 2 counters on it. After last counter is removed, discard 1 card at random from your hand. And you are confused, so that's kind of lovely. Pacification. Okay, 3 counters on it. After the last counter is removed, exhaust each upgrade you control. You are stunned. Rubble Storm. Okay, 3 counters on it. When the last one's removed, deal 2 damage to each character you control. Ooh. Nasty stuff. So those look like all the spells that could possibly become in front of you, and that does not sound that much fun. And then we've got Agent of Thanos, Treachery card. Alter Ego, place 1 threat on the main scheme for each spell environment in your play area. If you place no threat this way, gain Surge. Deal 1 damage to your hero if for each spell environment in play. If you take no damage this way, you discard, gain Surge. Channeling Trance. When revealed, remove 1 invocation counter from each spell environment in your play area. So each of them kind of go up, kind of tick down. If you have no spell environments in your play, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a spell environment is discarded. Put that card into play. There's a few of those. Abjuration. Okay, it's an attachment. Prevent all damage to Ebony Maw. Force response after Aberration prevents 2 or more damage from a single attack. You can discard it, so he's kind of just a little bit resilient. Restrained, attached to a friendly character with the highest attack, and exhaust it. Attached character cannot ready. You have to spend a energy and physical resource to discard this card. Got some side schemes like Reactor Overload. Okay, Crisis Icon. When it's revealed, each player must choose to either take 2 damage or place 2 threat here. Yikes. There's a couple of those. We got some minions. The Almighty Black Dwarf with his huge axe. 1 scheme, 3 attack, 6 health. His attacks gain Overkill. Ugh. Okay, Super Giant. Okay, 2 scheme, 2 attack. Quick Strike. After Super Giant attacks and damages a character, that character is stunned. Ugh. Side scheme, the Black Order. While a Black Order minion is in play, threat cannot be removed from this side scheme. Oh my goodness, this encounter just keeps getting better and better. What we got going on here? Treachery. Blood to Spare. When revealed, each minion engaged with a player activates against that player. Each player who is not engaged with a minion searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a Black Order minion and puts it into play. Engage with them. Shuffle the encounter deck. Black Order Infantry. It's got Guard. 1 scheme, 2 attack. When defeated, give the villain a tough status card. Couple of those guys. Outrider. 1 scheme, 1 attack. Discard 1 card at random from your hand. Couple of those guys. Okay. Oh, I'm getting. I see that. What I just kind of did there is, I went through one of the encounter. When I went through one of the encounter sets, this encounter set was Armies of Titan, and back here, this one was the Black Order. Yeah, this one was part of the Black Order. There they are. 1, 2. These ones are part of Ebony Maw. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards in the Black Order. And then there was the Armies of Titan. Armies of Titan. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Armies of Titan. There we go. Armies of Landing Craft here. When defeated, discard cards from the top. Oops, I should put it back here. Huh? Until a minion is discarded, put that minion into play. Engage with a player who defeated this scheme. A couple of those. And then it gets into the next encounter set. So, which I believe is... They advertise it as a tower defense. I'm not going to get much more into it. I'll let you guys discover that at own. But it's a tower defense, and it's got 2 villains. It's got Corvus Glaive and Proxima Midnight are part of that one. I'm really interested to see how that scenario plays out. But I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wait until I get through the Ebony Maw encounter. Yeah, so I'm going to wait to open up those until it's time. So hey, that's initially what you're getting inside of the Mad Titan Shadow expansion for Marvel Champions. I've been Ryan from Bridge City Boardgamers. Please like, comment, and subscribe to this video if you like what you see. Check us out on all of our socials. We're on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search up at BC Boardgamers, and we're also on YouTube here. Bridge City Boardgamers here. We're releasing What's in the Box videos and just another board game show where we're playing through some things. So look for some content quite irregularly at this moment in time because our careers are very, very busy and board gaming is just kind of like a side project that we like to do. All right. Well, folks, that's been this. I guess I'll catch you next time I decide to pick up something new. Cheers.